David Mencer. He is the Israeli government spokesman for the office of the Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And now we have Anthony Blinken holding talks with David's boss, with the Prime Minister, and an Israeli airstrike on Beirut captured on camera. Anthony Blinken is in the Middle East, I think, for the 11th time since the horrendous terrorist attacks by Hamas terrorists on the 7th of October. How closer are we to an end of this conflict, do you think, David?
Thank you for having me on with you, Peter. The conflict will end when we've achieved our war aims. The highest one of those, of course, is to get home our hostages. 101 of them, we need to bring them home right now. Hamas need to set them free. The killing, the elimination of Sinwar, confirmed on Thursday night, is a big step towards that. The Prime Minister made an unbeatable offer, I think, to Hamas terrorists. He said very, very clearly, you've got a choice. We'll continue going after the leadership of Hamas and eliminating each one of them, or you can let our people go and escape with your lives. And the other objectives of the war, of course, are to ensure that Gaza never again poses a threat to us and that Hamas is in no position of authority whatsoever for the future of Gaza. And of course, we need to get our people home in the north. Those are our three objectives, our three main objectives. And the Prime Minister said that the conflict, the war will not be over until those objectives are achieved.
What do you make of the words of the head of the UN Agency for Palestinian Refugees, UNRWA, saying Israel is continuing to prevent humanitarian missions from reaching northern Gaza with critical supplies, including food and medicine? Is that happening? Do you accept that?
Well, of course not. He knows that to be untrue. Unfortunately, Sinwar was found with UNRWA credentials. Actually, his bodyguards were found with UNRWA credentials actually on them. UNRWA afterwards said they were faked credentials. Isn't that convenient? But on the point of substance, look, we've pushed more than 1 million tons of aid into Gaza. UNRWA has shown itself to be completely inefficient. The best case in point is that right now, and I've been talking about this for days and days and days, I give a daily press conference to the international media. There are 600 trucks worth of aid on the Gazan side, of our border, just waiting for UNRWA to pick it up and distribute it. They have failed to do that because of their inefficiency. I actually feel that they want to perpetuate this conflict. It's in their interest, as it has been.
That this UN agency wants to perpetuate this, that UNRWA wants to perpetuate the conflict. That's what you're saying?
Of course, it's exactly what I'm saying. UNRWA have unfortunately proved themselves to be a front for Hamas. Let me share with you the evidence of why I say that. Firstly, we've given a whole long list of UNRWA employees that took part in the October 7th massacre. It's on video. UNRWA employees lifting up dead Israeli bodies and putting them in the back of the car and taking them back to Gaza. UNRWA employees themselves. We know that the UNRWA computer server farm, the actual Hamas computer server farm, actually sat directly below the UNRWA headquarters, which is a remarkable thing. We also know that the evidence I shared with you, that the bodyguards of Sinwar themselves, together with inside the possessions of Sinwar, we found lots of UNRWA merchandise, for instance, clothing, different UNRWA bags. It's clear that these two organizations have become completely intermeshed. And Philip Lazzarini, who is the head of UNRWA in Geneva, has shown himself to be deeply distrustful. Just yesterday, I saw an interview with one of their team saying there's no aid going into Gaza. It's simply untrue. Since May, there have been 500,000 tons. As I said, in the last year, more than 1 million tons. UNRWA are a front for Hamas, and the sooner this discredited organization is swept aside so that the real needs of Gazans can be taken care of, the better.
There will be some who will see you talking about the real needs of Gazans and pointing to the fact that Israel has killed many Gazans in this war. Is their welfare actually of your concern?
I think that the biggest evidence point why that is the truth, because this war has taken a whole year. Israel's army has the capability to destroy Gaza completely in a very, very short space of time, but we worked our hardest to undo what Hamas wanted. Hamas wanted huge numbers of casualties, 10 times more than the reality right now, and we have stopped that from happening, even though Hamas have fought from civilian areas. It's been a double war crime. They fired from us, from their civilian areas, while at the same time firing at us. It's a double war crime. So look, we could have ended this war very, very quickly. We've tried our hardest to get ordinary Gazans out of harm's way. And the proof is in the pudding, because the experts on urban warfare all say the same thing. They all say that no other army in the world in the history of urban warfare has done so much to make sure that the war does not affect ordinary civilians and gets them out of harm's way. Yes, of course, no one wants to move out of their home, but that's been the best option we've had to get to Gaza, to get to Hamas. Now, Hamas have been shattered now. The outstanding news that Sinwar was eliminated, confirmed on Thursday evening, means that we have a real chance now to build a better future for ordinary Gazans, a life run by Gazans, for Gazans, and together with Gazans that don't want to destroy Israel. That's the key point.
What is the truth of this reporting that you're keeping Yahya Sinwar's body as a bargaining chip in regard to the negotiations?
So I haven't got anything to add to that. I've seen those reports, but that sounds like But the guy was a filthy murderer. Just think about the last terrorists, Osama bin Laden, what the US did with him. They zipped him up in a bag and dropped him in the sea in an anonymous location. Saddam Hussein also a fairly similar fate. We're not into using bargaining chips here in Israel, but what we are into is getting our hostages back home. As I said, 101 of them, Hamas are still holding them. We've shattered this terrorist organization. But if they give back our people unharmed any further, then they will be able to escape with their lives. I think that Hamas terrorists would do well to take up that offer.
Although there has been huge criticism, David, hasn't there, from many of those hostage families of your boss, Benjamin Netanyahu, that he hasn't done nearly enough for the hostages and that he's been focused on other things within this war and not put enough focus on that. What do you make of that criticism?
So look, no one can cast any judgment on the hostage families. No one can put themselves in their position. I see them every single day. It's an open wound in Israeli society. You can't imagine the hell which those poor families have gone through, not to mention the hostages themselves. And there's a range of opinion within those hostage families. But look, the truth is we've been negotiating for a year now on a hostage release plan. And the Americans confirm this, and Secretary Blinken said this many, many times. It has been Hamas which has walked away every single time. And the reason is, it's clear, they're jihadis. Of course they walk away. Of course they've got no interest in any human compassion or any give and take. They are radical jihadi Islamist organization. They always walk away. Yes, of course, we'd love to create some sort of negotiated settlement. Blinken has made that clear. We've gone the extra mile, but it has been Hamas that walks away every single time.
Okay, David Mencer, thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, share, and hit subscribe to stay updated with our latest content. Until next time, stay informed and inspired. This is Djobnik signing off.